The sky was burning. The clouds red with twisted fire. Lightning moving across them. And they descended upon everything. Like a furious battle between God and Satan, good and evil. Like a fire vortex.
I'm doing all right. I tell you what, I'm excited to see this game. I know specifically that Emerald City is excited for this one, so I'm ready to see what's going to happen here. Yeah, and ECRC does have that lineup change that they're still getting used to here, and there is a potential for a sub at some point. It's not likely, but the potential is there. So team chemistry still building here for ECRC, and I haven't seen Steel Army play this season, just haven't caught one. So I'm excited to see what they're up to now. Yeah, so I'm excited to see that there are, 4 teams in the running to remain undefeated along with, or well, you know what I mean, with Black Army there. It's good to see Los Verdes having a first week win. I know they had a struggle bus last season, and nobody's surprised about seeing KC Cauldron there. And the locals up in there, also not really a surprise. So it's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see Los Verdes play. When's their next game? If you know, if you don't know, we'll talk about that later. Mm.
People have not been hearing me because I freaking muted my mic on OBS. Why do I do this all the time?
Oh no, it was so good too.
Oh goodness gracious, I've
we
ruined
were on
it.
fire.
We'll do it live, folks. We'll do it live. Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Maz will write it and we'll do it live.
Okay. So, Corndog, you mind telling the audience here what I yapped on about until now?
Yeah, so basically we got a great fixture coming up here. It's going to be ECRC versus Steel Army. That's coming up presently. We're both excited to see how that's going to turn out. I've obviously got my money on my home team there with ECRC. The standings we were looking at, you kind of heard me cover it, but Maz led us into the standings. And then talking about the matches coming up here, I was curious about what was going to happen with Los Verdes. He said he's not counting out Los Verdes, then there might be an underdog story to be had there, or an upset, I think it was his exact words. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what we get onto here in this week to set up Locals and Timbers Army. That should be a good game. EC Defiance, I haven't got to see them play, and they definitely, or I got to see them play, I mean to say, this last match, and that Black Army loss had to be tough.
Indeed. I liked how EC Defiance played. They have a good setup going. You know, they have a good amount of team chemistry already, despite introducing a new player in Parks. I think Parks has already established himself as one of the better players in EC Defiance, and I would not be surprised to see him grow and become one of the better players in SGL over time. I think he has the potential to be a very good Rocket League player. With that said, at this time, they were outmatched. On paper, Black Army outclassed them. You know, I'm just going to put it that bluntly. They had the better players, and those better players made the big difference, you know? And this was a harsh lesson for EC Defiance, you know? They had a good game going. They even put Black Army on the ropes, but at the end of the day, Black Army's quality was too much for them. With that said, given their performance, they should have some hope for the rest of the season. I think they'll be fine. They might be in the running for 6th, depending on how the other teams do. But it won't be easy for them because the league is overall getting better, and we are starting to see players not only get better, but new players come in who are going to make a big difference over time. As for the rest of the matchups, we have Timbers Army versus the Locals coming up later today. The kickoff for that is at midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific. So, you know, get ready to come back into Twitch, into our Twitch channel at around midnight Eastern and 9 p.m. Pacific. And then we have KC Cauldron versus the Rebellion to round it off. And that match is happening on Sunday, 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central, 7:30 Pacific. That was locked in just now. So we'll see how that goes as well. But for now, let us get right into Emerald City RC versus Steel Army. Corndog, as I mentioned earlier, without Twitch chat hearing me, I was basically saying I would not be surprised if the trio of brothers in Debit, Bear, and Red 4 come together and cause ECRC some problems. Because as you said, you know, at the start, ECRC are still figuring each other out. They're still trying to get used to each other.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And it has been a steady learning curve here, but I haven't seen, just personal experience, I haven't seen them on practicing together except for right before games. So that new chemistry is going to be, I think, the potential weakness, and it'll be, you grew up, you got three brothers in a van running from an asteroid, and old women are in the movie too, and they're also coming. So it's going to be interesting to see the dynamics both teams bring here. Toad's a good hard carry with the Smashly connection, but how are they going to jive as a team? That's going to be the big deal.
Absolutely. Now, with that said, the new player who has come in, Gojo, is a really good player mechanically. And in Rocket League, typically the mechanically higher level players tend to fit in better with their teammates, so I would not be surprised if they figure things out quickly. And because of that, I do see ECRC seeing off Steel Army relatively comfortably. I do think Steel Army will get one game against ECRC, but I can't see this being a 3-1 win for ECRC, if not a sweep.
Yeah, my money's on an ECRC win. I'm going to go ahead and give Steel Army a one game here, and I'm going to say it's going to be the first game.
That's fair. That's fair. So, chat, we're still waiting for ECRC to hop into the lobby. We're just waiting for them to get ready, and once they hop on, we'll be good to go. I'm going to try and set up a prediction so that, we can allow you guys to predict on the match as well. Just bear with me for a sec on that. Pardon the silence. I'm just setting up a prediction on my end.
Yeah, and I was just sort of looking through some of the teams coming up here to play. I think we're gonna have some good matchups here, and like we mentioned earlier, there are 4 teams that have one win and have only played one game. Black Army at the top with 2 games played and 2 wins, so 4 potential teams to continue on undefeated and join Black Army up at the top. And Maz mentioned earlier when he was muted that the win percentage could be involved here. If Emerald City get a sweep, I believe they will be above Black Army on the leaderboard with the win percentage. So curious, this is an important game here. My money's on KC Cauldron for the following game, and I gotta go with locals for their game. I love Timbers Army, but I gotta go locals for that game. Just because I want to see more teams up at the top. You wish for the outcome you're looking for,
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it is the long season. We'll see teams go up and down. And just as a reminder of the format, this isn't like a singular league campaign. This is a regular season followed up by a cup a knockout tournament to determine our season 8 champion. But let's put that on the side for now. Both teams are in. Toe Death is going to kick off against Bear Blitz in Manfield. Here we go. ECRC versus Steel Army kicks off right now.
And we'll call that a face-off win for ECRC, but it was immediately squandered and hit back downfield. Toe Death with a nice clear out. 50's in the middle. It's anybody's ball.
Oh, that's a lot of time. Oh my goodness, I thought Smashy was going to have an easy shot right there, but he missed. And now Red 4 has a chance to counter. Wins that 50 in the midfield. Devin needs to keep control of it, but that loose touch is not going to help. However, Smashley misses right there. But they kind of get away with it here, Corn Dog. And now Toe Death going onto the other end, but Red 4 clears it out.
Ooh, and a sneaky pass to the middle. Gojo wasn't quite ready for it. Able to hit it back forward, but definitely not on net, as probably was intended. That's a little bit of the chemistry we're talking about.
Yeah, and besides the chemistry, I want to highlight a bit of sloppiness, but Smashy comes up with a clutch save right there. But yeah, Corn Dog, it looks like the ECRC are a little bit sloppy right now. I wonder if that's just, something to do with, a lack of preparation, I guess. I don't know. I'm just throwing a wild guess right there. But we'll see if they grow into this game. Ooh. And as I say that, Corn Dog, Toe Death comes in with a good goal with a beautiful pass from Smashley right there.
Yeah, that early sloppiness is something, that's why I gave Steel Army the benefit of the doubt in taking game 1. The first game is normally a little rough. It's normally a little cold for ECRC, but Steel Army was not able to capitalize there, and ECRC battled their way back to take the first point of the series.
And that goal has given them a lot of confidence. And ECRC are now starting to take control of this game. That ball's still in the midfield right now. Bearblitz is going to go onto the other edge. Shoots it towards the net. Off target, though. And Corndog, we'll see if Steel Army can respond. But for now, despite the struggle, ECRC have a goal out there. And I think that's what makes a good team really good. And as I say that, Toe Death comes and gets the second, which in like less than a minute in.
Yeah, and the 1-2-1 there, Toe Death to Gojo back to Toe Death, and like I mentioned earlier, Toe Death always good to put the ball in. If you can get it across, he's gonna hit it home.
And we're starting to see that pace of play develop from ECRC. They're starting to ramp it up right now, and Steel Army just don't look ready for it. Although there's a nice demo from Debit right there. We'll see if Red 4 can play it into the middle, and he cannot. With that said, ECRC are now starting to look a bit more confident, starting to really express themselves a bit more. Particularly Tojo and Toad. And, you know, with good players, they can figure each other out. And we're starting to see that with Gojo and Toad Death. They're really starting to figure each other out right now.
Danger zone there, handled by Gojo. Steel Army looking to strike. Didn't want to commit the extra person forward, which, you know, I respect. It sucks getting scored on, but you're down 2, and it is officially halftime now. We're going to need to see some more pressure from Steel Army, taking those risks because Debit not able to turn it on.
And it's interesting to see Smashley stay on the goal line. Typically, that is risky, but they kind of got away with it there. And you're starting to see a bit of a pattern develop where Smashley is the clear third, and Gojo and Tojo, I guess you could call them as a pairing.
Yeah.
They're basically starting to take control of the match.
Yeah, the power couple Tojo, and I think that's a strategic decision there, as Gojo has just a little bit more pace, and I would say maybe a little bit better shot accuracy further upfield. So Smashley's not going to miss a save, and if you can let Gojo feed Toad or Toad feed Gojo, the power couple Tojo, I think, will deliver, and it's already 2-0 here.
A bit of pressure here from Steel Army at the moment, Corndog, but ECRC don't look stretched at all. They look very comfortable with their defensive rotations. What will it take for Steel Army to potentially cause some discomfort for ECRC right here?
They're going to need to commit a little bit more forward. I know it's awkward, and you're going to leave yourself open on the back end potentially, but good, strong communication, which two are going forward as Gojo slips it past Debit.
And it's a story of whiffs right here. One big whiff from Bear as he was trying to dribble the ball forward, and then a second whiff from Red 4. Creates that shot for Gojo, and he slips it into the back of the net. 3-0 ECRC with less than 90 seconds to go. I honestly do not see how Steel Army can come back from this.
Yeah, it's not likely, but you might want to shrug it off and maybe try that aggressive offense we were just talking about. Debit had full faith in Red 4 touching that, which is why he wasn't ready for that easy shot on the ground. It's good to have faith in your teammates. It's good to believe they're going to be there. But we're not seeing a lot of connections on the Steel Army side.
And another thing I'm noticing here at Corndog is at a lot of the time when Steel Army bring the ball forward, they're hitting it loose and they're playing it right into ECRC's hands. If they could start dribbling the ball forward more, keep a close control, they could start to draw out ECRC's defenders and be able to, create some openings at the back. But I think they're kind of giving up the ball a bit too easily on several of these attacks.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Right there, Bear Blitz kind of went for a cheeky little chip shot and might have had a chance to take that into control. Let a second player come up to help. It's not all breakaways. It's not all chip shots and breakaways. Sometimes you gotta make a play.
Oh!
What a save!
Gojo with a squishy save after a beautiful pass from Devin to Bear Blitz. If at any moment you needed a big save to come out, it was then for ECRC, and Gojo turned up for sure.
And just to show the other side of the coin here, ECRC getting a little greedy towards the end of that. Now, granted, they were up 3 and they had every right to be, but you just saw Smashley going up for a clear and Gojo going and taking it. That could cost you if Steel Army gets on their horse and starts riding.
My goodness, what a performance here from ECRC. I know we talked about, their lack of chemistry and their struggles, but honestly, after the first 20 or so seconds, they look to be right on, right in good form, and they've been playing really well here.
Yeah, that first minute, maybe minute and a half, ECRC was vulnerable. They were kind of stepping on each other's toes. The passes weren't connecting, but Steel Army not able to capitalize, let them find their groove. And you called out Smashley sitting back, and Toad and Gojo up front just hammering away, and eventually you get one in the back of the net. I think Steel Army needs to, like you said also, slow it down, take possession, take the control. Don't just hammer it backfield, because ECRC is keeping somebody back and letting two attack right now.
Yeah, and you don't want to give too much time to players like Gojo and Toad Death as well, because they can punish you if you give them all the time in the world. And likewise, for ECRC to Bear Blitz. Bear Blitz is also really good when you give him the time. So.
The star player Raccoon Poop subbing in for Steel Army.
Oh, there he is! Raisin Boy already coming in. I thought it was going to be a bit longer before they make that sub, but okay.
They might just be trying to mix up the chemistry. They might just be trying to throw maybe a more offensive person in here, but Raisin Boy, absolutely a good player. Let's see if it shakes up the fishbowl the right way, because it can't get worse than 3-0 is, I guess, what you would say to that.
Absolutely, and a good start so far. Why I say that. I mean, Steel Army have control of the ball right now. And we'll see if they can make the most of it, although at that moment, they're not really doing too much. Nice 50 there from Toad Death. Bear Blitz looking really awkward, but a nice demo from Raisin. And that is the X factor I was talking about, folks. Red 4 may not have that, but Raisin can go get the demos, and Debit capitalizes and gets the lead for Steel Army.
Yeah, and what you're seeing here is ECRC kind of dependent on their rotations. They're probably good. They're probably communicating really well right now, but Toad went for a lead blocker, and the Steel Army lead blocker able to disrupt the play. Open net, top shelf. Beautiful start for Steel Army.
We'll see how ECRC responds right here. They certainly have the players to respond to this. Gojo and Toad both going up. Toad still has control. He's trying to go for a double tap. Misses, and Smashley comes in as the number 3 and cleans up an equalizer already. I have to say, Corndog, that's way too much time for ECRC to be able to build that up.
Yeah, they hit him with the razzle dazzle. They're taking it almost to the ceiling. Gojo feeding Toad Death, but the key to that play there was as soon as Gojo landed, he started going home. And that let Smashley feel comfortable enough to come in as the third man. They're definitely keeping somebody back, and it was Smashley game 1, and now it seems to be everybody as Toad Death is back now.
Open net right in the middle. Raisin Boy gets the goal back. How did that happen?
It is a beautiful 50 here. Toad Death looking for the clear, gets stuffed, and just a fortunate bounce directly to Raisin Boy. That's some amateur league. You can't mess that up kind of training pack right there.
Dang, I did not expect that aggression from Bear Blitz, especially. He just came out and was engaging Toad Death super early. I bet that caught him by surprise as well. And Steel Army are coming out. As you said, Corndog, they needed to be this aggressive, and they certainly are, especially with Raisin Boy at the helm. Smashley is coming back in with a goal of his own. Tit for tat at the moment, Corndog. This is going to be a goal fest, isn't it?
A minute and 24 seconds, and there's 4 goals on the board. I would say it's a god-dang shooting gallery out there.
Absolutely. And if you want a fun matchup, don't look any further than this, as Smashley already gets his hat trick in 96 seconds.
When you have people like Gojo and Toad flying up, you kind of might be focusing them. I don't know if that's what's going on here, but Smashley claiming a hat trick this early in. But Steel Army not laying down. They've been tit for tat.
Nice attempt right there from Raisin Boy, but I think that was a shot too hard to the backboard, made it a bit too easy for ECRC to clear the ball out. And right now, Steel Army looking a little uncomfortable in the back. They have the third, like, in between area, not really sitting back and not really going up. That's going to be dangerous, especially when ECRC start getting their shots out in towards the net. So we'll see if they adjust to that. Ooh, Smashley looking awkward right there. Gojo whipping as well. This gives a chance to Raisin Boy to take a shot, and it's an easy clearance out for Toad Death.
And there it is. Gojo not coming out of the net to challenge that awkward ball off the post there, but a great battle in from Devitt just over Smashley. Gojo puts on the brakes. I'm not sure what the decision was there, but open left side, easy dunk, tie game 3-3, 2 minutes in.
So fundamentally speaking, what Gojo did was not a bad play. You know, you sit in the net and you're able to get out. But that pass was so fast off the near post that he really wasn't able to react quickly enough to it. I will say I found it interesting that Smashy had 0 boost throughout that whole time. I think the game plan was for him to try and disrupt Steel Army, but he just didn't have the boost to be able to get out and engage quickly. So that might have played a part at the end of the day.
And a nice center ball, no one challenging on ECRC here. Maybe they're slowing things down, I say, as Smashley comes flipping across.
That should have been a goal for Smashley. I feel like he might be a bit, peeved at the fact that the bounce didn't go his way. But at the end of the day, it's the team result that matters. And Toe Death puts it into the back of the net. Well, pretty much pushes the ball into the back of the net to make it 4-3. And we have about 2 minutes to go. Nice double kickoff there by Raisin and Bear. You don't see that every day, Corn Dog.
Yeah, I get yelled at every time I try it, but, you do it for a reason. It might burn you, but it might also force the ball your direction. 2 is stronger than 1 in that instance. But ECRC battling forward here. Devitt smartly takes that one over.
And right now, I think there's a bit too much of a focus on trying to disrupt ECRC. Not ECRC, on Steel Army, trying to get a bump in. Steel Army just not looking phased right now. Gojo looking a little troubled, but no one's there from Steel Army to pressure the ball in the midfield, and now Smashley brings it out relatively easily. Raisin Boy has certainly upped the pace in this match. But do you think the pace also suits ECRC, Corn Dog?
Well, I'm seeing a lot more offense both directions here, and I'm seeing big holes in the defense. So right now, I think the key for either team is hit the ball on net. If every touch goes on net, one of them's going to go in because the defense is lacking on both sides.
Nice pass from Smashy to Toad. What a save attempt from Devitt right there. Gojo misses. The net is open. The net is open and Smashy's able to get back. But Raven right there going for a bump. Devitt wins that 50, dunks on Smashley. And we have an equalizer with less than a minute to go. 4-4.
Raisin Boy with a calm lead blocker. Knew his teammate was right behind him because you do lose track of the ball. Put just enough pressure on Smashley to where all he could do was tap it. And it's just double tapped right back in. Beautiful play there from Steel Army. 40 seconds to go. Game's tied 4-4.
Those earlier misses are now starting to haunt ECRC as with less than a minute to go and about 30 seconds to go now. Steel Army are still in this and they might just be able to win this game too. We'll see what happens right here, but this can honestly go either way. I don't know which way to call it. Both teams are capable of winning this game.
Yeah, I have to say it's definitely down to the coin flip here. I'm not seeing another goal happening. Overtime or the next 7 seconds will be the last goal here. And it seems like both teams kind of got frantic and messy right there.
And we are already in overtime, Corn Dog, in game 2 in Forbidden Tempo. Here we go. Which team is going to get the big advantage right here? Oh my goodness, big pitch, but Smashley is back there, anticipating that long shot. Good job by him to clear that away. That demo means there's no one to receive that ball in the middle, but Bear Blitz is there to get that ball back. Smashley trying to go for a shot. Huge save by Devin.
Gojo with the reciprocated demo, followed by the clear off the back wall. It was 2v1 there, and what a great stop from the remaining defender, who I can't remember who it was now.
I think that was Devitt who got the
there
last
you go.
stop.
That sounds about right. And the demo birds are out. Devitt taking out Smashley there. Toad getting a bump.
Nice touch by Bear Blitz right there. Gojo was lurking, just waiting. Uh-oh. Oh no. Open net. Devitt puts that into the back of the net, and we are tied in this match 1-1.
They caught ECRC coming forward, being way too aggressive, and Devitt just had to walk that ball into the net uncontested.
Oh, you hate to
Series
see
tied.
it. Sorry, Corn Dog, but you hate to see
Series tied. That was yeah. No, I hate to see it. That's for sure.
just a terrible way to lose the game. You know, you don't want to lose it on a whiff like that. Typically, that would tilt most players, but ECRC have been there and done that. They've been through these kind of setbacks, right, Corn Dog? So you think they'll be able to bounce back from this?
Yeah, I think they need to calm down and reestablish their defense that we saw in Game 1. Sure, the points and goals were flowing, but if you can't stop it from going into your net, they're going to take the lead at some point. So I think they got a little too aggressive. They got a little too spread out. They weren't keeping a third man back, and everybody was going. So it's going to be a matter of, can Steel Army keep up this pressure and pace? And can ECRC add to their defense?
That's right. And I think now might be a good time to bring Spanky in, because Spanky's very good at taking control and in locking down at the back. So we'll see if Spanky comes in for ECRC right here. But I think if you're Steel Army, you stick with what you have. And it looks like ECRC are also sticking with what they have. No sub at this time. Do you think that's the right choice?
Yeah, well, you know, throwing in Raisin Boy was absolutely a good call. It shifted up their pace and their chemistry. I'm not really sure, other than right before games, how much. Oh my God!
What's going on?
I hit join the team.
Okay, we're gonna have a lobby reset, folks. Lobby reset time.
I didn't even mean
You guys
to.
didn't see anything right there. We're gonna set it all up again.
It's all an illusion. Oh my God. Oh. Okay, this is partly why I should just use my keyboard.
Listen, I had my moment where I was muted the whole time. It's okay. We're doing it live, folks. As I said a while back, we're doing it live. So just waiting on you, Corn Dog, and then we'll get started with the match.
Funksider says, Corn Dog subbing in. Oh, man. All right.
Chat, you don't have to wait too long. We are already back in. Let me get the game back up. Same lineups from both sides. Same kickoff formation, I think, from both sides as well. So it's like nothing ever happened.
Okay. I like the aggression from Steel Army. I would also like to see them do a little bit more defense focus as well.
Well, so far it's already started with a powerful shot from Toad. Another powerful shot coming in, and 2 saves already from Steel Army. How's that for a defensive focus?
Ooh. Yeah, I'm seeing maximum aggression here from ECRC. Only one man back, but it's Toad.
And even then, big demo at the back. The net is open. Razor Boy touches it into the back of the net. And after getting 2 big saves on their end, Steel Army with their first attack get the first goal of Game 3.
And ECRC started off hot and heavy. Steel Army sat back and found their moment. They were able to counterattack and shut it down. First goal in 30 seconds. Devitt going for the demo.
It's not his first demo either. It was his demo at the back at the ECRC keeper that resulted in that first goal for Raisin Boy. They're giving ECRC a bit of a taste of their own medicine right here. We'll see how this progresses for the rest of the match. Nice touch by Devitt all the way to the other end, giving his teammates a chance to regain some boost. Toad Death getting a nice control off the Masamune. Second nice touch. He has the shot on goal, but it's over the crossbar, and no one is there from ECRC to rebound back. And we'll see if they can kick off an attack right here. And they do so with a nice touch into the middle, but again, no one from ECRC is really coming up to engage, and they lose out on that 50.
You can feel the aggression just fall off as soon as they got scored on. They're still pushing, don't get me wrong, but they were going all out at the beginning of the game. Once they got scored on, they sped it. They slowed it down. Sped it down.
Oh my goodness, the whip! A second whip! But Toe Death is in there to capitalize! And it's 1-1! And this game can honestly go either way when you see ECRC get into the zone.
Yeah, that kind of falls on Raisin Boy there, not to put too much shame on it. But if Raisin Boy would have made any form of contact, Toad Death would have turned around and left. That miss left it open for Toad Death to push in.
Oh, nice touch from Gojo
Oh, no.
into the back of the net. Ooh, that touch was so critical. You needed to get there first, like Gojo, with a little bit of boost that he had. Used his full mechanical ability right there to take it past Steel Army and into the back of the net. And just like that, it's 2-1 to ECRC.
Yeah, and Smashley got credit for that assist, but it was all Gojo. That was definitely a solo play. Did it himself, popped it up to himself. Beautiful shot, gets the demo there. And oh no.
Oh my goodness. If you're Steel Army, you're probably being tilted at this point. Demo, and then you need to get back with little to no boost. You have no way to get a touch on the ball, and Toad Death was in position to just tap it into the back of the net. 3-1 ECRC, and we still have about 3 minutes left in this game, so there's a lot of time for Steel Army to come back. But once again, just like Game 2, this has been a goal fest, Corn Dog.
Yeah, it's starting out a little tiny bit slower, but both teams seem a little hesitant. I don't know how to explain it. Steel Army needs to calm down, I think. You said they might be a little tilted. That might be the case. Play the game like it's 0-0 and it just started as we pass halftime.
Decent pass back to Smashley. Smashley up to Toad. Toad trying to touch it into the back of the net, but off the crossbar. Now Gojo trying to double tap. Misses the second touch. And Smashley's lucky right there as he's able to get a contact on the ball. Corn Dog, overall right now, this is really chaotic. And I guess ECRC are looking better off because of that, aren't they?
Yeah, it's definitely favoring ECRC with the it's kind of confusion here, and Steel Army kind of going back to the big balls. There needs to be a little more possession, maybe a little bit more direct passing. Although all this is real easy to say from the outside perspective. Look at that, and just they're hammering the ball every time, and it tends to go to a blue player. Here's another hammer, and it's gonna go right to a blue player. Ooh, not sort of a negligent touch, but able to clean it up himself. Smashley battling Gojo for the ball.
And at the end of the day, I think the biggest problem for Steel Army right now is anytime they go for a 50, they've also been losing that. So on top of just knocking the ball loose and pretty much giving it up to ECRC, they've also been losing out on their 50-50s, and that's going to make a big difference for a team at the end of the day if they want to take control.
Yeah.
Now Debit coming in from the left. Crossing into the middle, Gojo with control, takes charge of this. He's through it to the back of the net, but he cannot get that final touch. And now Debit wins a big 50. Open net. Pass doesn't go to Bear Blitz, though. Goes just over his Fennec. And now we'll see if Razor Boy can do something about that. Through the middle. Steel Army going for a big 50 goal right there. Razor Boy weak touch. Toad Death clears it out. And so far, ECRC are kind of holding on, but they're not really looking too stretched. I think they're looking comfortable right now, especially with this 2-goal lead and with 30 seconds to go in this match.
Yeah, I'd describe it as ECRC is in control, and Steel Army is trying to find a way out of the hole that they find themselves in. It's just a matter of keeping that possession, connecting to your other teammate. They were doing it last game. This isn't a foreign concept here, but ECRC just in control and shutting it down. And with 10 seconds to go, it's looking like that's going to do it.
I think that miss from Debit right there means that this game is over and ECRC get a big Game 3 win. And it's in these kind of moments, Corn Dog, where you start to see the team leading 2-1 just take control of Game 4 and see the match off. Do you think that's going to happen here as well, given how this match has gone so far?
I would like to see Steel Army take their time here. They've already readied up. I'd like to see them take their time, calm it down, discuss what's going to happen. Hey, somebody say that you're home, somebody say you're staying back, and let's do two-man attack, because right now they're just kind of scrambling back to the ball. So I think if Steel Army can maybe communicate better, obviously we can't hear their comms, but if they could decide who's going and decide who's staying back, I think they'll have a better chance here. Also, there wasn't as much ECRC disruption as we saw in Game 2, and I feel like that might be important as well. So potentially better communication, but definitely better teamwork. They felt scrambly. They didn't get the first goal. So we'll have to just see who makes the better changes, but ECRC looked completely in control in Game 3.
Now we'll see if ECRC make a sub. Depending on... No, they're not going to make a sub. They're going to stick with the same team. Fair choice. They've held on pretty well. They had a close game too, but other than that, they've looked pretty good. And if they stick with the same team, they probably have a better chance of getting the win here in Game 4. And here we go in Utopia Coliseum. Razor Boy and Toad Death kicking us off in Game 4. And this is a good kickoff for ECRC. Pass out from Gojo, which looked like it was supposed to be for Toad, but Smashy just came in and intercepted that. Same Smashy who bumped away Bear Blitz into a potentially good attacking position. We'll see if they can do much with that. Nice control there from Toad, bringing it out really nicely with the Masamune. And now Bear Blitz inadvertently plays it to the back. ECRC had a good chance right there, but it couldn't make it count. But so far, it's been a really good start by them.
Yeah, we're definitely not seeing the hammer balls as Raisin Boy looks for a side pass to Debit. That's what I was looking for. A little bit less big balls all the way downfield and a little more connect with your teammate. Now, you aren't losing until you get scored on also. So defense as that ball just goes wide. Defense, in my book, defense is way more important than offense.
Oh no, and speaking of defense right there, Corn Dog. Gojo tried to pass it back, but he inadvertently passes it to Debit, who was there first, and Steel Army take the lead yet again. Oh man, that is such an unfortunate error. You hate to see it.
Gojo absolutely thought he had a third man back sitting in net when he made that pass. There's no question about it.
Speaking of Gojo, he gets a really nice 50 win right there against Debit, who looked like he was in the mood to beat Gojo and put it into the back of the net himself. Now Toad Death takes an early shot. Ball's played out to Smashly. Gojo looked like he was going to get bumped, but he evades that bump. Gets the ball out into the midfield. One thing I want to talk about is at the start, there were a lot of demos coming in from ECRC. Like, they looked like they wanted to disrupt Steel Army and, you know, get them out of the zone eventually. We're seeing a lot of demos yet again. What do you think is the overall approach right here for ECRC?
I think ECRC, like you said, is disruption. They're trying to stop them from doing what they're planning on doing, because they're not just hammering it downfield. You know, oh my, Smashly almost turns that one on. But when you're just hammering it downfield and collecting the ball the other direction, there's no need to disrupt them because they're hitting the ball back to you. So now that hasn't been so much the case, they've been passing, they've been slowing the ball down. Now you need to get in there and shake up their fishbowl. Catch somebody out of position, make somebody respawn. Oh, a big ball off the bar.
Oh my goodness, another miss? ECRC are getting the shots through, but they're not making them count. Gojo tries to psycho it back into the midfield, but no one is there from ECRC to get that ball. And now Steel Army have advanced up. Razor Boy trying to go for a shot, and the ball's not coming back to Bear Blitz slowly. Tries to slow it down and allow his teammates to come back and get some boost as well. Blitz first to that ball in the midfield, and now it's Gojo's turn to see what he could do. Beats one. Still on the left wing. Tries to get a touch into the back of the net. Trying to pinch it off the floor, but he doesn't get much out of that. Smashy now tries to clean up. He makes a little bit of a mess out of that, but still fine for the most part. And right now it's a really even battle at the moment as the ball's mostly spending time in the midfield.
Yeah, it's a lot of aggression from Steel Army here. ECRC is just kind of defending what Steel Army's doing, but Steel Army's finding a way to keep that possession and keep it moving forward as we're still seeing. But ECRC is on the back foot with 1:46 to go. This ball comes around from Toad Death. Passed out to Smashley. It's wide man Gojo. Tips it back on net.
Really good counterattack right there. And that is all thanks to Toad Death kicking it off and keeping really good close control. And then at the very end, Smashy tried to put it into the back of the net, but he misses. However, he has his teammate to thank in Gojo, who was there at the right place at the right time to tap it in. 1-1. And so far, this has been a really even battle, but ECRC are growing into this.
8,000 points for awareness to Gojo there. 2,000 points to Gojo for positioning. That was an awkward lip flip. I don't know what you guys call it. When you slide off the lip, he back flips to be in the right position to just perfectly tap that in. That has to be the play of the series so far.
Absolutely, and I'd also like to talk about the really good dribbling that Toe Death is demonstrating right here throughout this match. He is slowing it down and he's taking control, and it's really helping ECRC when he does that. Let's see if he can continue that, because I think that is the key for them to win right here.
Yeah, we're headed back to anybody's game. It's almost a deja vu of game 2, just with, 6 less goals on the board.
Blitz hammers it in all the way to the back, but ECRC just sitting back, and that's kind of allowing Steel Army to take control, but they don't take advantage of that. Now Gojo with 0 boost tries to pinch it in towards the back of the net. Toe Death is now there to clean up. Let's see if he can do something with that. Big 50. Smashy coming in for a follow-up, and now it's Gojo's turn. Touches it towards the back of the net. Debit with a nice, comfortable touch. Big 50 by Toad. Toad still has control, but he's going to try and let it go, except he takes control right there. Smashy's unable to get the boost. Toad with a powerful shot. Debit with a big save off the goal line, Cordog. Woo! A lot of good play right there from ECRC, but it's not over yet.
Yeah, ECRC spent a lot of time in the offensive zone, but the engine of Steel Army was turning, and there was always somebody there to answer back. You don't want to be under that kind of pressure, because one misstep lets the ball in, but you got to do what you got to do, is that's an early overtime goal! Gojo chips it over the defender!
Oh, the awkwardness and that whiff from Raisin Boy made a big difference, and then Devin panicked at the end despite having 100 boost. He honestly should have done better there, but a couple of mistakes mean that ECRC wins this match 3-1.
Absolutely crazy there, with Gojo faking that 50 ball and then chipping it over the back defender. Those early kickoff goals, they happen for a reason. It's because you just started. If overtime just started counting from 0, I think we'd be telling a different story right now. But that face-off win, the easy chip over, that was a beautiful play from Gojo there. Carried the team right on over the top. Did we leave the server? Are we server resetting?
No, it's over. ECRC 1-3-1.
Oh, good God. I was so excited about the goal. I lost I lost consciousness for a second there.
No, you're good. You're good, Core Dog. It's okay. Yeah, Emerald City RC come up big in Game 4. We had 2 overtimes, 1 in Game 2 that they lost. And now in Game 4, we got another overtime, and ECRC won that relatively quickly. And that's what it's all about. Despite the setbacks, they're able to bounce back and get going. And that's what makes them one of the favorites for this season.
Yeah, definitely called it with Steel Army taking a game. I just was wrong that it was Game 1. It was Game 2. But Steel Army didn't look out of that series at any point.
Indeed, and I think we have Smashley ready for an interview. He's in Pub 1. I'll drag him in a sec. Smashley, welcome on in. How you doing?
W.
That is right. That's what matters at the end of the day, and you guys needed that W to get to the top of the table, and with that win, you most certainly do. Tell us how you guys felt throughout that match, especially as Steel Army was starting to become more aggressive and give you guys a taste of your own medicine.
We usually start slow and kind of absorb and observe in Game 1, and I think we had them figured out pretty early in Game 1, and then they made that sub, which was a really good sub, and it took us a bit longer to figure them out on that, but like in real life, when an MLS team plays a USL team, we figured it out and won.
So, Smashley, I can't help but notice you didn't have an own goal this series. Are you trying something new, or is this just a one-off?
So yeah, so I mean the four of us, because you saw Spanky joins too. The four of us have been practicing a lot this week and really giving 110%. And one thing that we talked about was who's going to be scoring the own goals. And we decided to move that over to Gojo this season, and he had a fucking incredible. Oh, sorry, language. He had a great one in this game. If you guys were watching,
Yeah.
and he claims that he was trying to hit it very slowly, but I don't know how you do that when he hit it perfectly for a pinch. So we'll have to ask that. We're gonna review the footage later.
Yeah, so speaking of reviewing the footage, you guys absolutely got bailed out by Gojo in a couple of scenarios, most notably here at the end of Game 4, where Gojo faked the 50 on Raisin Boy and then chipped, I believe, Debit on the back line to just end it immediately. Do you think if you went to Game 5, you feel confident you would have won that?
Oh, I'm mad that we didn't just sweep, to be honest. But yeah, we were never, despite the 2 overtimes,
The loss.
yeah, and the loss, we really weren't sweating it. Although I will say, Steel Army has always played us really well outside of the sweep in the playoffs last year. But besides that, I feel like during the season, I think we've had 4 Game 5s in a row over the previous 2 seasons. So they usually always do play us pretty well. I think actually one of like the best all-time SGL series was a best of 5 with Steel Army last year too. So they're fun to play.
Nice. Well, I definitely enjoyed the series. There were some high energy moments. I gave play of the game to Toad taking it around the sidewall, you missing wide, and then Gojo being in the right place at the right time. And if you call it a pass, I swear to God.
Yeah, so that one was weird. So that ball, when it very first was hit and it was coming towards me, it was going the trajectory was slightly different, and then I had to react to it like changing. And you know how that goes with servers sometimes, right? But he saw it clear, and it was just there on my screen. It definitely moved after I hit it, and I was there's gonna be some clips I post later where I'm just yelling and losing my mind. So
awesome. Maz, you got anything else for the Smasher? Good talk. All right, Smashley, if you got nothing else, we'll let you go. You can shout out to the people if you'd like.
Just shout out to the Sounders Rocket League server. But bunch of us have started playing chess too for God knows what reason. But thanks for having me.
All right. ECRC takes the W there against Steel Army. And like I said earlier, I don't know if we're getting a different interview or not, but we had Steel Army was not out of that play out of that series at any time. And it just took 1 or 2 different key moments, and we would have seen potentially a Game 5, potentially a Steel Army win. ECRC not looking super great. Just since Smashley came in all hot, I'm gonna talk some trash. All right. Am I alone in here?
Oh my goodness, my mic.
Oh,
sorry.
He's been muted.
God, love it.
Sorry.
Gotta love it. It's fine. Anyways, I was using this as an opportunity to update the league table anyways, because I would like to show the updated league table as it stands, because I did claim that with that win, ECRC are now at the top of the table. I want to check and be sure that is indeed the case. So we'll see if that's the case right now. But I will say, in terms of my recap for that match, ECRC looked very good, despite still having to get used to Gojo. They went through a lot of setbacks, and they were able to fight back through all of them. And even when you're not playing well, if you can deal with those setbacks and get a result, that is all that matters. And ECRC have definitely shown why they're one of the top teams. Just want to make sure everything is good here. Okay, I did say that with that win, ECRC would go to the top, but because Steel Army beat them, their win percentage is still the exact same as Black Army's. So you'll see what I mean when I show the league table. But yeah, at the moment, it is pretty much all tied at the top between Black Army and ECRC. They both have the same number of points and the same win percentage. And that's because ECRC lost against Steel Army in Game 2. If they swept Steel Army, they would have been at the top. But, there you have it. Both teams have won 6 games and lost 2 games. And that gives you a win percentage of 75%. So that's the math for you folks right there. And it's a good match. It's been a good match for ECRC. They've had a good start so far. I would not be surprised if they finish in the top 2 at a bare minimum, depending on how KC Cauldron and Black Army do over time.
Yeah, and I definitely enjoyed that whole series, and I'm looking forward to see. I still want to see Los Verdes play, man. That's what I'm excited for. I mean, they went winless until the end, or I don't remember. It's been like a month or two, so I forget things.
Yeah, so last season, Los Verdes did not win a single match in the league campaign. And then the cup tournament, they won 1 match in their last game in the Swiss. So they've only had 1 match won throughout the whole season. This time, they already won 1 match, so they've already pretty much equaled what they did last season. And they're on course to win more for sure. So we'll see how they do. They have a chance to finish in the top 6 as well, depending on how the rest of the teams perform, so I think they might be the surprise package. With that said, we will save that for Friday because they'll be playing El Matador then. But next up, we will be having Timbers Army versus the Locals in about an hour. So, I will be ending the stream very soon, and we'll be kicking it off in less than an hour. And please be sure to catch that match between Timbers Army and the Locals. It's going to be an absolute blast. Every time Timbers Army and the Locals play, they push each other all the way. Last season in the league, when Timbers Army and the Locals played, the Locals went up 2-0, and the Timbers Army then reverse swept them. And in the Cup tournament, I do believe Timbers Army beat the Locals like 3-1, although that was a pretty good match as well, despite the result. So, keep an eye out for that, and make sure to catch that. But yeah, that's it for today's stream. Do you have any final thoughts, Corn Dog?
It was a great series. I'm gonna actually immediately watch it back and see what I missed.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure there are some other things we missed, but both teams are playing at a high level. Let's not, discount either team. Both teams played at a high level, but at the end of the day, ECRC made it count with their better quality of players, and with the results at the end of the day. I mean, they made their attacks count more than Steel Army could. So well done to them. GG's to both teams. And folks, we're going to wrap up the stream right now. But don't forget, we will be kicking off the second match between Timbers Army and the Locals at midnight Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Pacific. So make sure to catch that and make sure to be there in less than an hour. But until then, this is the Only Mazar and Corn Dog. Thank you all for watching.
Corn Dog!
Sorry, Corn Dog, you want to repeat that?
I just said, that's a Corn Dog! Gojo MVP!
There you go. I just want to make sure you got that in. And yeah, I agree. Gojo MVP too. But no, actually, Toad Death MVP for me. I think he was.
All right. Fair enough.
But yeah, that about wraps it up, folks. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night. We'll catch you in less than an hour. Peace.